Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Strategic Mind the Pacific. Back after a successful mission in New Guinea and the Dutch East Indies, or at least part of them. So, despite getting all of the points, I think my performance in the last one was marginal, so let's hope to do a little bit better this time. Although I can't really complain getting all of the points at the very least, so yeah, I don't know. It's I was less than successful in submarine hunting. Now that can be a bit tricky, but yeah, I kind of just didn't strategize it as much as I might have wanted to usually. So I don't know, it's just sometimes it's hard to focus, your mind isn't in it, and you start making some mistakes. It wasn't too bad, like I said, but let's try and I will try and be more sensible about things. Either way, let's just talk to Nagumo and Nugaki first before we go to the units. Next mission will be Battle of the Coral Sea, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Battle of the Coral Sea is also the first mission in the US campaign, so they start off a little bit later, but of course they have the entire historical path afterwards, probably accumulating into an invasion of Japan, likely, but obviously I haven't played it yet, so I'm not sure. But yeah, this is where the US campaign starts, and well, we're already in mission 4.
Intelligence reports that the U.S. carrier forces are thousands of miles.
Well, actually, I think I have a better idea here. So let's go to settings and sound settings and put that speech a bit higher. And then in the middle of the mission, turn it lower again.
Our intelligence reports that the U.S. carrier forces are thousands of miles away from the main war theater. Even if it is true, we should still not forget the wise words of Sun Tzu. The art of war teaches us to rely not on the likelihood of the enemy's not coming, but on our own readiness to receive him.
Well, I'm sure that's true. The carriers are probably thousands of miles away, and definitely not in the Coral Sea. Probably.
Aircraft carriers can be compared with bow and arrows, which strike an enemy from afar. Battleships or like a naginata blade, dealing devastating damage with each blow. Escort ships are a shield covering its wielder from arrows. And finally, submarines are like a tanto blade, which can cut the enemy's belly swiftly and unexpectedly. We still do not know the exact combat capacity of the US Navy, since other than Pearl Harbor, we have not fought its major forces yet. However, when the enemy is ready to face us in a decisive battle, we must be well prepared and meet him head on.
Well, that's going to be the next mission, Midway, probably. Now, I do like that they have this picture of Hirohito in the back. If you talk to Ogaki, you can actually see it there. It's pretty funny. First, before we get started on units, I want to go and spend my victory points at 500. I saved some during the last mission. So, one thing that you might have noticed is that for most of the turns we actually do have a lot of command points left, and with just doing the scouting, we don't really use up all of our points, and I want to have a good way to spend my command points. And the thing that I want to do is I want to go for naval artillery. It allows the ship on which we activate it to fire one more time with its main gun, and namely the capital ship mostly, I think, but we can do that with any ship. I think that's a very good way to sink our points in. Yes, let's do that. And we shouldn't forget that I can actually use this on with more ships, so the cheaper this is, the more often I do get to use this, which is really good. I do have 300 points. I could level this up once again to take that down to 11. But I really want to get a third equipment slot for all my naval units. which does mean that I can't use this a second time, which is fine. I'll probably level this up in a little bit, but for now I want the naval overhaul program, getting that additional slot there, which leaves me with 150 points. Now, before I do anything else, I want to see how this translates to my units. So let's go to the units first and see. We can do a few upgrades, but I'm not too keen on upgrading my tanks yet during this mission. There's probably very little land combat involved in this mission, and that means that I'm reluctant to even for these guys, it's an out of tree upgrade to get it to a type 1 Chi-He. So that indeed means I'm not necessarily inclined to upgrade there. I am inclined to do these upgrades, or in-tree upgrades. That's totally fine. There we go, and the 0 gets +1 air attack. Sure, why not? Okay, so those are fairly cheap and not really a problem to do. Let's see, I can upgrade the Shock class into the 42 version, which does give it better stats here, more fuel, more ammo, everything. Let's do that. And I also want to upgrade the Ryujo class to the Shock class model 42, which will also free up another slot for an air unit, and does make this thing a lot more powerful and allow us to upgrade here. I think it's fairly important to start doing this. We saw already in the previous mission that my Ryujo class got hit by 1 torpedo hit, and it took down 3 out of 10 health, and that makes it very vulnerable. Having it at 20 increased its durability by a lot, and this way also it can really resupply better, because with just 1 it does get a bit tricky, with just 1 fleet carrier, that is. So we do have another slot for a unit. Let's see, because these guys already have a hero, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they do. So let's just take a look whether I can get heroes on there. Okay, you haven't done 30 damage yet. And you didn't deal any damage to any capital ships, so yeah, exactly. I'll be able to do that in the mission itself, the next mission itself probably, so I have to watch out for that, because these are really, really good abilities. There's an escort ship one. I think I already assigned that. Hero's already serving in another unit, yes. Tactical bomber though. I can assign that. I think I'm gonna assign that to a it's tricky, because if I put it to a regular bomber, it gets +6 to naval and torpedo attack. So actually, if I put it on a regular bomber, yeah, let's put it on a normal bomber, so that works very well against both ground and naval units. It makes it a bit weaker against naval units, because torpedo attacks deal damage directly to the hull, which makes it a bit more powerful against the capital ships. But I think this will be fine too, and I'm actually, to be honest, I'm a bit afraid for the last few missions, because I was thinking about which missions that will be up next, and definitely we'll have Midway. Then after that's probably Guadalcanal, and then after that I can see either an invasion of Hawaii and or Australia. And that means that for Australia, for example, we're gonna need plenty of ground units as well. And it might be that for Hawaii there might also be some, land combat involved. So I think going for the bomber allows me enough diversity, or I need that diversity, because if I take a torpedo bomber, it's really not going to be that great against land forces, and this is fine. Yeah. Let's level him up. All weather, still most important. And even though I think, yeah, there are a lot of good things here. Overrun, really, really good. Wreck ships, first strike, scouting, altitude. But I think devastating fire to attack twice every second turn is probably the best one of all of them. But yeah, there's plenty of candy here to choose from. Infantry hero, I can probably do that. Yes, I can. Let's assign him. Yeah. Okay. I do want to level him up then. So this assaulter means that I don't have to use the flamethrowers, and I want devastating fires for now. So let's immediately go to the equipment because it doesn't need that there flamethrower. But indeed, I can use something else. So I definitely need, at the very least, this. And I'll be back with these guys later. So I need to buy another plane, and I'm gonna buy a third Zero because I do want my air units to be safe. Yes, the upgraded version, this one indeed. I do like how they switch up the picture as well. That's really nice. Level them up with both boom and zoom and all weather. There we go. Yeah, so we have 2,795 left. First of all, what I want to do is upgrade or overstrength all my air units, I think. No, let's wait a bit. So let's take a look at these guys first and their equipment. So they have Marine Squad incendiary shells. I definitely want 20 of these, which is a lot more expensive, but that really is really good, I think. 8 is not enough. And I think I want a few armor piercing shells, but not this one. I think armor piercing shells are a lot worse than these guys, because this one means that it deals double damage to all ship parts except hull, engine, and main gun. But this one does not deal double damage against hull, engine, and main gun. Just that it focuses on those. So these are a lot less interesting than the incendiaries. I will definitely go for a large storage here. Very useful. I just didn't have the prestige for it before. But I will definitely put those there now. And that already lowers the amount of points that we have. Definitely want to go for smoke generator and dazzle camouflage as well here. Smoke generator is a really, really good ability, which allows my unit to automatically gain all these defenses once its HP gets below 50%, which really increases its durability. Let's go for improved optics here as well for better spotting range. Leaves us with 1,000. Let's take a look at your equipment, because I don't necessarily need to deploy this third steward. So investing in something like the Sokosagyuki is not necessarily what I want. Okay, so you yeah, he loses the ability. Let's go for Sapper Squad here. Because I can see the enemy. I should have upgraded this one. That was silly. Yeah, let's have one with flamethrower and 2 with sapper squads for this mission. Okay, so this is all upgraded. How about the Kurogane? Fine. I definitely want to do use overstrength on these guys as well. That's gonna cost me some prestige. Get rid of the bombs. Okay, so they're all at 12. And how is their loadout? Good enough for now. And let's overstrike these guys too, and then see at what prestige we're at. Not too much. Well, I think maybe over-strengthening the artillery is also a pretty decent idea for now. I think it's more important on these than anything else. So if I want to go for plane equipment, yeah, the only thing that I can really get is the aerial cameras, which is reasonable, but I don't necessarily want to spend my victory points on that. This makes it cheaper. Not necessarily what I'm looking for, so I don't have the prestige to spend on these, really. I'm probably best off just saving these 150 points for something better. So naval artillery, for example, and another heavy landing ship, which I also really like. But it would mean that if we get full points, we would be at 550 next mission, which would give us the ability to do this times 2. Well, I have the ability to do that anyway. So I might just as well spend these points now. Dive bombers can choose to attack the engine when dive bombing. That's decent. Costs 250 points. I would have to save 50 points in order to have that ability. I think it's a pretty decent ability. So I can spend 100. Okay, well, let's go for the optimization program then. And save those 50 points for the next mission. And then after the next mission, I could go for naval artillery level 2 and for the pilot's training before what is probably going to be the Battle of Midway. Alright, so back to the units, and let's give at least a zero, some zeros, the aerial cameras then. Which is okay, I guess. I don't want to get the drop tanks yet. I think that the -1 ammunition is a definite drawback, whereas I don't necessarily need the fuel yet if I manage everything right. I haven't been into really big problems with the fuel. Alright, so I think we're good. Talk to both of these guys, and let's get started then. Yeah.
New Guinea is in the Army's sphere of responsibility. But it seems that the Army is not capable of carrying out the tasks assigned to it.
Ouch. He's so silent. Good.
General Sugiyama, why is Port Moresby still not taken?
The Army does all possible and even impossible efforts. We require more time.
Wow.
The thing is that difficult terrain slows down our heavy vehicles movements. Moreover, half of our men have been stricken with lethal diseases, while the damn Yankees have fresh reinforcements daily.
Difficult terrain? Illnesses? Your excuses are so lame that it is repulsing to hear. This is a clear mark of your incompetence.
Clearly.
Attack the enemy where he is unprepared. Appear where you are not expected. These are the wise words of Sun Tzu. If the army keeps hitting its head against a brick wall, it will not help us much. However, the Navy can offer our army a helping hand. While the enemy expects our attack via land, we can attack him from the sea.
This is nonsense. The Army needs no help. We will soon take Port Moresby on our own. Do not try to steal our thunder, Yamamoto.
Enough! Keep quiet, Sugiyama. You have told us enough. Please, continue, Admiral Yamamoto.
The Navy has devised a plan of naval operations for landing our troops near Port Moresby to cut off the supply lines between the U.S. and Australia, as well as to complete the occupation of the Philippines. However, I will attempt such an operation on one condition only. The command of the whole operation will be entrusted exclusively to the Navy.
Finally.
I have nothing against giving the Navy a chance to prove itself. Let the Navy give our Army an example of solving problems of any difficulty in a timely manner.
I must protest, Prime Minister Tojo. You should not be swayed by Yamamoto's eloquence. The Army...
Silence. That was the last time you will be allowed to publicly criticize my decisions, Sugiyama.
Now, if the Navy is entrusted with the command of the operation, then Admiral Ugaki will provide you with all the details, while Admiral Nagumo will take the direct command of the operation.
As the Army Chief of Staff, I must say...
Sugiyama,
we cannot...
please, leave the council room immediately.
I beg your pardon.
Wow.
Nagumo, it is your chance to prove to everyone that you are the best commander in our naval forces, and to return my complete trust.
Aye, aye, Yamamoto-san. I will not let you down.
From Prime Minister Tojo to Admiral Yamamoto. This time I must bestow unprecedented authority on you. Considering the inability of the Army commanders to seize Port Moresby, your plan MO apparently will be our only opportunity to establish full control over New Guinea. As discussed, the South Seas Unit will be under the command of the Navy during this operation. However, do not overlook the fact that after assuming command of the operation, you also assume full responsibility for its outcome. Lately, many have been dissatisfied with how you have been raising the stakes in the game.
Really?
The cost of your mistakes is raising with them as well. If Plan MO doesn't bring us the expected results, it will bring great dishonor to you.
Judging by the tone of the telegram, Tojo is not happy about the Army commanders being left out of the game. But we will win this game. Plan MO is solid, isn't it, Ugaki?
The enemy doesn't have any chance to stop us from its realization. Our landing forces will easily seize Port Moresby and destroy the remaining U.S. forces on New Guinea. They will also proceed with the seizure of the American base on Tulagi, our long-standing plan.
Good.
This way, we will get convenient positions for striking Australia and its communications with the USA.
Good.
There is something troubling me. Don't you find it strange that the enemy carriers have been evading us for half a year now in the best traditions of shinobi? Why have they still not entered into battle?
I suppose the American commanders are scared they will suffer the fate of the fleet in Pearl Harbor. According to reliable data, all American aviation units are located at mid-latitudes. Even if they were able to rush to New Guinea right away, by the time they arrive, our samurai will be drinking sake in Port Moresby.
I suppose you're right. However, we should take precautions. Admiral Ngumo, has the invasion unit already left Rabaul?
It has. The transports with the South Seas Unit and their escort will arrive in the Solomon Islands in 2 days.
Great. So we have a couple of days to provide tight security in the area of operation. I want to rule out the possibility of any unpleasant surprises.
Indeed. Alright, deployment screen. We have New Guinea on this side, with vast mountain ranges, as we can see. This will
There is no honor in hiding inside an iron box.
be a problem after I set the sound settings, the speech volume lower again. Will be a problem because if I deploy my forces here, I cannot simply land them over in this area because there's no supply here, which means that they have to go through the mountain range, which is of course a death trap, seeing how things look, without supplies, and then take Port Moresby this way, which does not seem like the greatest of ideas. So I either need to destroy enemy opposition, move around, and then take Port Moresby. Although I also have to destroy the US troops on New Guinea, apparently. So I have to either swing around and then attack Port Moresby and then take it with units, or I have to land here anyway, make sure that the enemy opposition is lighter, and then go through. But that's going to be tough without additional supplies, so that's a bit tricky. Then there's also Tulagi up here, which also needs to be taken. It will provide a valuable seaport in that part, because we only have this. Oh. Well. Can I see the supply in deployment phase? No. Okay. Oh yeah, no, I can. Okay. So my supplies don't run very far, and having Tulagi will add an additional supply range, which is nice. Then there's Cairns here, part of Australia. I'm sure, well, we have to take it to get all the points anyway. And then also all the way down here there is Hog Harbor on Espiritu Santo. Okay. Which we also need to take, which also might become a secondary objective. Okay, so we have to reach pretty far, but we'll do what we can. First of all, let's deploy the naval units. I can also deploy here. So the thing is that, just like in the first mission, I'd rather want to draw out the enemy airplanes, which can probably come from both here and New Guinea itself. But if I deploy in one area, at the very least, it won't affect me too much. Yeah, so let's deploy all of these units here.
The warriors of the sky are at your command.
Okay, so as for ground units, I'm not gonna go in here in the first turn anyway. So you can question why I would deploy some of my ground units. I'm gonna deploy, I guess, for now, just one infantry and just see what happens. I can always deploy these guys later, and I don't need them, so they're just going to be a liability during the first part of the operation. If I were to go to New Guinea immediately, then it would have not been that bad, but I'm not going to do that, so I might just as well leave them. Okay, because I can go to reserve anytime I want and deploy these forces anyway, so that's fine. No additional forces this time though, so this is all we got. Yeah, I'm pretty serious. Let's move to the side a bit. Nothing yet. Okay, let's deploy a seaplane. Now surely they'll have anti-aircraft there, but my purpose here is to check into this direction. I could have gone one further. Okay, so there's not a whole lot there yet.
Just show us the target. Moving carefully.
And the way I want to position these units is that at the very least I want them to provide cover for each other.
There are no enemy submarines in the area, right?
We are the instrument of the Emperor's will.
Yeah, let's... The thing is, I can technically already attack there. If I Say that they're here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe I should just do a bit of recon. Let's start here. Okay, so if I want to hit this, 1, 2, 3, I would have to be at least there. Getting 29 points per turn, so...
Verifying the enemy's location.
Okay, so there's something there. I'm better off targeting this.
We were destined to serve
And I would have to be
this
here for that.
magnificent vessel. There is no stopping us. Gaijin's insurance shall ensure their death.
And since I have nothing better to do, I will already do the extra attack on this turn.
Will smite them.
So that already destroys one of the enemy units. And I do want to release another float plane here and move into this direction. Nothing.
Your orders. That area is under our control.
A fighter.
No, you're all staying in there. Okay. No Overwatch? Okay. That's second Overwatch. So there's a plane coming from here. Okay, it's not too bad, I think. Let's start indeed with using the anti-aircraft, and specifically on the fighters.
Greetings from the Imperial Navy. Ooh, which weapon to use? Guess this one.
We were destined to serve aboard this magnificent vessel.
Also important to note that these are right next to each other, and because I don't have Link the Fight with my fighters, I need to at least down one before I can even think about attacking the other one.
Do you require assistance? Greetings from the Imperial Navy.
Are there new orders from our godly emperor? There are no enemy submarines in the area, right? A worthy enemy. I hope they will find peace in the afterlife.
Okay,
We surpassed pathetic Gaijins in everything.
since these are practically destroyed right now, but I do need to
A new battle awaits.
attack it at least once more.
Hurry! We need to support our allies. Fire! They thought that we were an easy target, didn't they? Big mistake. We have righteously spilled the blood of
Okay, let's use your anti-aircraft.
our aircraft. Destroy any target.
And there's still this
The
one.
Navy is the stalwart defender.
I will
of the
attack this
Empire.
because this one will easily be destroyed already.
Our huge guns are about to fire. Engage, number one.
Okay, and that has me use up all the anti-aircraft.
If the battleships are the muscle of the Imperial Navy, we are its brain.
So, first off, I'm probably still going to use boom and zoom here.
Ahead of the wind. They will feel the rain of fire.
There we go. This unit will then also cover for these guys.
If the battleships are the muscle of the Imperial Navy, we are its brain. Consider me dead. Time
Destroy that
to
one.
say goodbye.
And this one will also cover here.
Are there new orders from our
Then there's
godly
1-0 left. I suppose they're best off attacking the Dauntless.
Emperor? Are there any targets?
Destroyed, good. Then there's this bomber left, but I couldn't destroy it in one go. Oh well. Definitely not taking out the bombers yet.
We serve faithfully.
Enemy vessels are lurking nearby.
Our vessel is the pearl of the combined fleet.
Let's see what happens. Destruction. Well, I'm gonna look to take down maybe some of these.
We are the muscle of the Imperial Navy.
I need to move one more hex, huh?
We glide. Our huge guns are about to fire.
Use the ability.
Guns ready.
Gaijin's insurance shall ensure their death.
It's probably a bunker.
Our guns are always ready. All systems. Operation.
No, I guess these guys are fine with the way they are, probably.
Looking for prey.
Still haven't seen anything yet. No other enemy ships, that is.
Do you require assistance?
That area is under our control. Enemy vessels are lurking
Okay.
nearby.
We deliver death.
I'm gonna deploy my other two infantry now as well. We'll see what happens. They do have something there. Okay, another enemy plane. And a submarine. But attacking a destroyer is not very smart.
From General Sugiyama to Admiral Yamamoto. My recon plane reports 2 enemy carriers spotted south of the Solomon Islands, just before the connection was lost. Perhaps it was shot down by one of their aircraft. It's obvious the arrival of the enemy fleet in the Coral Sea makes proceeding with Operation MO very dangerous. The Army transports must return to Rabaul immediately.
Admiral Ugaki, did you not report all the U.S. carriers are located at the mid-latitudes? Is that what you call reliable data?
The enemy has managed to deceive me. I have let you down, Admiral Yamamoto. There is no forgiveness.
Very well. Nothing terrible has happened yet. I've expected the Americans to devise such a deception. Ultimately, it is even better. Not only will we take over Port Moresby, but also sink 2 enemy carriers. Prepare the reply to General Sugiyama. The landing of his troops is not called off. Our fleet will deal with the enemy carrier task force.
Our invasion forces are coming under air attacks from Australia. We need to mitigate this problem before it becomes more serious.
What would you suggest? Plan MO does not provide for landing on the Australian continent. We don't have sufficient forces to wage war on this front as well.
We are not talking about a full invasion of the continent, just the seizure of the coastal airfield at Cairns. According to intelligence, that is where the enemy aviation is operating out of. Intelligence spotted the transfer of new planes from the other bases in Australia to Cairns. If we do not deal with it now, sooner or later, we will have to deal with a powerful air group.
Okay. Consider me persuaded. If it's only a matter of one airfield, I will order Admiral Ota to take care of it.
Alright, first invasion of Australia, I suppose. I have the submarine
Our
now.
strength is in numbers of dead enemies.
Let's use the anti-aircraft
Have a
first.
taste of our power.
And then
Ooh, which weapon to use? Greetings from the Imperial Navy.
destroy that submarine.
The Navy is the stalwart defender of the Empire. We were destined to serve aboard this magnificent
I think
vessel.
in order to attack that, I need to at the very least go around, and that's probably not going to be possible.
Verifying the enemy's location. Verifying the enemy's location.
As long as there are no enemies close as well.
Verifying the
Ah,
enemy's
okay.
location.
They're here. Fair enough. Say that they'll be moving in my direction. That is movement of 8 plus 4. That's just 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So even if I move forward, they're not likely
Searching
to be
for
able
the
to
enemy.
attack already. It's probably a good idea to
Observing
actually
the
do it.
horizon. Protectors of the fleet. Searching for the enemy.
So then I might just as well keep attacking from this side.
Engage. Number 1.
Should have used their anti-aircraft capabilities, but
Captain's insurance. Ensure their death.
the zeros will solve it.
We will win the day. We will win the day.
At least that's what I hope.
Knows no defeat. We broke through the enemy defenses. Our aircraft destroy any target.
Okay, but I'd rather attack the fighter.
Caution, the enemy may be nearby. Our aircraft destroy any target. I hope the sacred spirits will bestow their blessings on us. They thought that we were an easy target, didn't they? Big mistake. Get behind them. An honorable death.
Good, so that's another enemy plane
Guns
down.
are always ready. Get behind them.
And then I need
Fighter here.
both of the zeros
Already there. They have zero
to
chance.
destroy that. They can land and regain that
Those bombs are heavy.
damage.
Are we fully loaded?
And yeah, then I only have these guys left. Now, I could... The thing is that the air forces from these two will definitely be able to go and attack if I go over to Lagi with my airplanes right now. So I could totally see some airplanes landing over me on the next turn. And I do have to guard against that. So again, I'm best off just waiting for
We carry
one
the
turn.
deadly arrows of the Emperor.
Well, they're sure to move up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 range, huh? So I think we can definitely see a naval battle
We
now.
picked up radio exchanges from another group of unidentified ships approaching us from the south. Perhaps it is a carrier with an escort.
We cannot afford to rely on guesswork. We must scout the area immediately and find out the exact composition of this force.
We have intercepted the radio exchanges from the enemy's 2nd Task Force. It's located approximately in this area.
More carriers?
Fortunately, no. A few battleships with an escort.
We will keep an eye on them. If they dare to advance, sink them.
The transports with Army units have arrived at the area of the operation according to the plan.
Good. Now we must ensure they head to the landing zones.
Definitely, and I need to identify the enemy vessels. I think it was around here somewhere.
Carry the deadly arrows of the Emperor.
Verifying the enemy's location.
I think it's these two.
Verifying the enemy's location.
The enemy ships have been identified. Fortunately, it's not an aviation unit. It's just a destroyer and a transport ship. Judging by the direction, they are going to Port Moresby.
Even though this convoy is not our primary goal, it would be great to sink it.
And this is... These are all cruisers. Yeah. 4 heavy cruisers and 3 extra destroyers besides the other group that just went in this direction. That's gonna be tough.
All crew is reporting.
Also, I'm not sure whether I'll even be able, whether I'll even be in range here. I mean, these guys certainly will be, but my battleship
Our vessel is the
will not
pearl
be
of the
able to
combined fleet.
attack profitably
I'm in
like that.
position.
What I'm gonna do, I'm only gonna level up my units and those that can be leveled up, and then afterwards I'm gonna call it quits for now. Because I've been playing long enough already.
Do you require assistance?
Let's go for scouting and overwatch. So anti-aircraft, defender, and extra reach. Artillery, also defender and mobile. 3 regular infantry. These are non-core units, so I'm gonna go for the attack. And we also get a couple more planes here.
Our fire.
All weather. Boom and zoom.
Be careful with the bombs.
No, I want all weather and altitude.
What should be destroyed next?
And altitude. There we go. I think I got all the units. Yes, I did. Let's also see whether I can apply any
We were destined
heroes.
to serve aboard this magnificent vessel.
No. Because I already have that one. Submarine didn't deal damage. And...
We are the swarm.
Oh. Yeah. Alright, well that was a crash if I ever saw one. I
More guns than the entire enemy.
guess I will do the same stuff on the next episode because I don't feel like doing this again this time. So yeah, the game still has some crashes here and there, which can be tough, but at least we have an autosave every turn, so you don't lose too much progress, although it's still unfortunate whenever that happens. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and see you all next time. Take care, bye-bye.